I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you. Talk like you. You say it's true. Connect like me. And life is you and true.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to SoCal Exploring. Yesterday at the Halloween Horror Nights panel at Monsterpalooza 2019, John Murdy and Chris Williams announced that Holidayz in Hell will be coming as an original maze this year to Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. Holidayz in Hell was originally a scare zone last year, but is going to be inside of a maze this year. We have the full details of that exact maze in this video. So if you want to know the full details of the brand new maze Holidayz in Hell coming to HHN this year, stay tuned. Let's hop right into the video. As I say in every video though, before the video starts, make sure to check me out on social media at SoCal Exploring Media on Instagram and at SoCal Exploring on Twitter. Also check out my website, www.socalexploring.com. If you follow me on all social media and on my website, then you can keep up to date with my latest theme park updates, my Horror Nights announcements, my theme park news, all that good stuff. It all comes on these social media platforms first. So make sure that you're following me and you sign up for the little newsletter on my website, socalexploring.com. And also click that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Let's hop right into the details. At the Monsterpalooza panel, Murdy was teasing before that something was going to be announced. So all of us fans knew what was going to be announced, knew that something new was going to be announced, but none of us actually knew what it was. Nobody actually guessed it at all. So he revealed later in the panel that Holidayz in Hell is going to be coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer for you guys, and then we'll talk back about it after. So that was the trailer. The trailer is pretty good. Now, the music score is going to be by Figure in this maze. Figure's done various work for Horror Nights in the past, and he's been like a good friend with John Murdy and Chris Williams. As far as the event goes, they've had a good relationship and such like that. Now, we already know where this maze is going to be located, which is in the Parisian courtyard. And we already know what the facade is going to be. The facade is going to be inspired by vintage postcards, like a New Year themed postcard. Vintage style. It's going to be basically a giant postcard, and I'm assuming you're going to enter through the middle. It'd be cool if you enter through the side. I don't know how this is going to be yet, but Murdy did confirm at the panel that we're going to be getting a facade of a vintage New Year's postcard, which will then lead us into the New Year's section, the nursery of Baby New Year, where we will encounter characters like the nurse, Baby New Year, the Father Time Stilt Walker. I don't believe he's going to be on stilts, obviously. We're going to encounter party revelers, which have a theming of kind of like The Shining, he said in the panel, that they were inspired by. So we're going to be encountering all these characters in this nursery, and there's going to be this scenic crib scene with this Baby New Year. The photo that they showed from it looks really cool, and it looks really creepy. If they made a joke like if they were to see him backstage walking around, it'd look funny and weird, but this is how it's going to be in the actual maze. And this is going to be the first New Year section. It's going to be based around Baby New Year and take place in a nursery. So that's cool. That's what we're going to start off after we go through that facade. That is where we're going to start off in that nursery scene. Now all these holidays are going to be in order just like they were in the scare zone last year. So then we're going to bump into Valentine's Day, and they did say that this whole maze, they got the inspiration from vintage postcards. So they were talking about like how some vintage postcards, holiday cards, are like very evil, and they were just very like messed up back then. And they showed different scenes or different pictures of those, which I can see what they're saying. These things look pretty messed up, but that's where they're getting the inspiration from. So then you're gonna go into the Valentine's room. I don't know if it's gonna be multiple rooms or not. I don't know if any of these rooms are gonna be multiple rooms. I'm assuming they will be. Just because it does need to fit into a maze. So you're going to go into the Valentine's room, and they didn't give us much from this room other than the fact that we're going to be seeing the return of Cupid from the scare zone, as well as a few other characters. There's going to be a scene where it's like a Valentine's or a heart-shaped like kind of bed / table with a sacrifice of some body there, and there's going to be characters interacting with that and such. It really wasn't that detailed, I guess, that much detail. The Valentines one, all I know is like all these inspiration pictures are leaning really towards like the cheesy prom Valentines, the cheesy like Valentine's rides, corny stuff like that to incorporate into the maze, like props like that. So that's gonna be cool because I like when Universal does this whole like corny thing with their mazes and they use like little corny stuff as props, but it does come out looking very good. I mean, I think it looks very cool. I'm trying to think of an example of when they've done that before, but I like when they do stuff like that. So I think this Valentine's section is going to be one of my favorites out of the actual maze. Then we move into the St. Patrick's Day area where Murdy got inspiration from back home at his house in Ireland. There is these houses that are just abandoned, but they like never got destroyed. They look like little huts and stuff. So Chris Williams designed like a kind of a scenic elevation of like kind of those huts that they're showing inspiration from. So I'm assuming that this is going to be where the leprechaun lives, and he's gonna pop out of that door and such of the scenic elevation that you guys are seeing right now. We are going to be seeing the leprechaun that we did last year, as well as other characters in each of these different rooms and each of these different show scenes and such. We're going to be seeing different characters as well as the ones that were incorporated in last year's Scare Zone. I'm saying that right now so I don't have to repeat myself every time we get into the next showroom. The scenic elevation looks very cool. This hut looks very like destroyed and scary and waiting for a leprechaun to pop out and scare guests as they walk through. It looks very cool. I like the detail of it right now, and I can't wait to see the detail of it when it's all said and done. So that obviously looks really cool. I don't know what else they can really stretch with the whole St. Patrick's area. That may be like one of the smallest sections as it was in the Scare Zone. So we'll see, but as of right now, from what they've shown us, that's all we got. Then we get into the Easter, which they got a lot of inspiration from the creepy Easter bunny pictures of like kids sitting on the Easter bunny's lap at the mall and such. And one of the scenes that it shared with us was a scenic elevation of like these overgrown Easter eggs, and a human's growing inside of one, and he's not supposed to be growing inside of one, and he looks like he's in pain, and he's like the arms are popping out and the legs, but not the actual head. So that's gonna look terrifying. That's gonna look so gory, but I'm so ready to see this in like full color and such. But there's gonna be terrifying bunnies popping out of that. We're going to be seeing the return of the Easter Bunny, which, by the way, was one of my favorite characters from Holidayz in Hell last year. Like, just the mask is amazing, and just the way that he scared you was amazing as well, as he popped out of the lights and such. But now we're going to have him popping out of an Easter egg and having some bloody, gory guy stuck in an Easter egg. I'm sure it'll be a live actor, if not a prop. And we're going to have different scenes for the Easter Bunny to hide around and pop out and scare you. So that's going to be very cool. Like I said, a lot of these inspirations are from older stuff. So like from the creepy pictures of kids sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. It makes for a very different outlook on these holidays, especially Easter. Then we hop into 4th of July, where we're going to see a different approach with this actual scene compared to last year's Scare Zone. We are still going to see Uncle Sam, the character from last year, that will be returning. But we're also going to be seeing the Firework Boy. Now the Firework Boy they described as he's terrorizing people and like setting off tons of fireworks and blowing stuff up and everything. It's going to be this big scene with special effects and stuff. And I think it's going to look really cool, guys. There's also a picture of a scenic elevation of the actual firework kid. And he has his legs blown off and his hands blown off and such. And you can tell that he loves playing with fireworks. And he loves causing terror with the fireworks on 4th of July. I think that's going to be actually my most favorite scene in this whole Scare Zone, or in this whole maze. I forget that it's a maze. It's going to be one of my favorite scenes in this whole maze, if not my favorite. There's going to be lighting effects and different effects incorporated into this 4th of July scene. It's definitely going to be my favorite because we don't see that a lot in mazes. Like when we saw in Universal Monsters last year when Frankenstein pulled the lever down to set off all the electric shock and such. That was one of the coolest scenes ever, and that's kind of like what they're going to be doing, except for it's going to be more of a firework effect. So I am very, very excited for this 4th of July section. Then we move into Thanksgiving, which they really didn't give that much detail about the Thanksgiving. This is when they're running short on time during the panel. So they really haven't given that much detail about the Thanksgiving scene. They did give a couple of visual pictures of what they're getting inspiration from, and they also gave a picture of the scenic elevation of the room. But the only thing that they announced is that we're going to be seeing this same turkey character in there. But as far as what I heard, and I'll probably go back and watch it and probably realize I should have put something into this video. But as far as what I heard, they really didn't give that much detail on the Thanksgiving scene. All I know is it's going to be gory. It's going to incorporate that turkey and probably some of the props that we saw last year in the scare zone. And then we get to the ending of the maze, which is obviously Christmas, where we are going to be encountering Satan Santa Claus, guys. Yep, that's right, Satan Santa Claus. I am terrified. That is going to be very interesting to see a Satan version of Santa Claus. They get a lot of visual research from Christmas tree lots and like those white snowy flakes that you see falling. Like sometimes Disney shoots them out to resemble as snow. We're going to be seeing that stuff. That's going to be the scene of that. So basically based on a Christmas tree lot where we're going to encounter Satan Santa. That's insane, guys. I'm very excited for that and to see what they can do with this whole Christmas tree lot idea for the ending scene. And then, that's not all. Just when you thought the maze is over, the return of Dark Christmas, the Scare Zone, is coming back. So just like last year when they did it with Universal Monsters, Monster Masquerade, Scare Zone at the end, this is going to be the same thing, but with Dark Christmas, the Scare Zone, guys. We had this a while ago, a couple of years ago. The return of Jack Frost and the evil elves, as well as some new characters are going to be incorporated into this actual Scare Zone. The Winter Witch, which Murdy said is one of his favorites, and from the picture of it, it looks pretty terrifying. And the Nutcracker Stiltwalker, I'm super excited about that one too. And none other than Baby New Year. I don't know if the exact Scare Zone is called Dark Christmas. They may name it something else, but that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm like naming it right now, because it seems like most of the characters are Christmas, except for that Baby New Year. We're going to be having a tiny little Baby New Year running around scaring the living hell out of us, and I'm so excited for that last little Scare Zone at the end, just like I was excited for Monster Masquerade last year, and it came out very nice. Props to Murdy and the whole creative team for coming up with the whole Scare Zone idea again this year and bringing back one of my favorite scare actors and characters from past Halloween Horror Nights, which is Jack Frost. I absolutely love that costume and the mask, and just the way he goes about scaring people is fantastic. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you click that subscribe button to see videos exactly like this one and see all the newest updates and construction updates and news around from the parks and Horror Nights and all that other stuff. Make sure to subscribe and turn those bell notifications on to be notified whenever I upload those videos, because you're not going to want to miss it. If you have not checked out the full panel of Monsterpalooza, please do so down in the description below. I filmed the whole panel if you want to check it out there. See it in a more detailed perspective of what I just broke down for like a 15-14 minute video. I try to keep my videos minimum as under like the 15-minute mark to not stretch them out too long. So I try to describe the maze as best as I can with the time that I have that I set my limit at. If you want to check me out on Instagram, check me out at SoCal Exploring Media, and on Twitter at SoCal Exploring, because I'll be posting all the different announcements in there as well, and on my website www.socalexploring.com. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Positivity is key. Do not let those negative barriers get in your way in life. And I will see you all in the next one. Remember to keep exploring. Peace.